Pete Nakos on 3.com, the transfer portal and more. Joins us on 365 Sports with Craig and Paul. I'm David Smoak. And Pete, thank you for your time. You had an article that I read about the transfer portal, which seems like it's open 24/7, 365 days a year. But you did mention this, that the window closes on April 30th, the last time grad transfers can enter before December. So is that kind of a new twist to the ruling?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's like the end of the world here, but at the same time, Smokey, I think that is something that I don't think a lot of grad transfers were counting on when they were going through this process this time of year.
Pete, Dylan Edwards, who played with Deion Sanders when he was a youth player, is now in the portal. I saw that you put out Nebraska, A&M, Kansas, and Kansas State as spots for him. Do you expect his list to grow, or do you think he'll have a pretty narrow window of those four schools and maybe another one?
You know, I think that those are the teams to watch at the moment. I mean, you guys know this just as well as I do. It's so fluid. And in this age of NIL and everything that comes with it, I mean, if some program really wanted to make a splash and get involved, I'm sure they could.
Pete, has this portal window been as fast and furious, as you expected? I know people have different feelings on how active this would be. How would you categorize it compared to your expectations?
I think it's chalked up exactly to what I thought it would be. I don't think it's really surprised me. I don't think that it's been the deepest talent pool. I think this is just kind of where we're at, and I think that the spring portal was never meant for programs to really like build their roster. I think it's really to either get good guys or offload scholarship players.
So do you feel like because of what you just said about this one that it might change in the future because it doesn't have that rush of what you see at the end of the fall semester?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's going to change anything about college football in the future, but at the same time, I think this is the new norm in college football, and until we get to Super League or whatever it is people want to call it, I don't know if we're going to get away from it.
Pete, who do you think is the most intriguing player right now as far as it comes to, people searching after him and trying to get him the most?
Simeon Barrow, the Michigan State defensive lineman. He's at Missouri, I think, as we speak, or he's in there tomorrow. I know Florida State's trying to make a push, Miami and Texas. He's already been at LSU, so that's kind of the guy that's really dominating, or not dominating, but commanding the most attention, I think, at this moment in the portal.
Pete, how do you view the Colorado mass exodus on your end? A lot of, ways to spin it one way or the other, but how do you view, especially in light of Dylan Edwards, a guy who, Deion was just talking about, that didn't sound like it was an expected departure, and then that he's in the portal. What do you make of it all?
I don't think that the departure of Dylan Edwards, I think that was a surprise. All that said, though, I think that a lot of the guys who've left in the spring window specifically, only a handful are really going to be contributors in 2024. And when I talk about Colorado at this point in the cycle, I think I talk more about all they've been able to add. I think they've added some really good pieces recently.
Pete, Alabama has been in transition with, of course, Kalen DeBoer with Nick Saban retirement. I saw that James Brockemeyer comes from a family that's been very, very good in football terms, and now he has entered the portal. Your thoughts about him, and how has DeBoer now, after you weigh what left and was going to leave anyway or left because of Saban leaving, and where he is now?
I think that he has I don't know if I thought more guys were going to enter. I really don't. But today was the second guy went in. I'm kind of torn. I don't know if I thought a bunch of the family guys were going to leave. At the same time, though, kudos to him for identifying a couple positions that they knew they need to get better at, and I think they've done a nice job. And you get Graham Nicholson, the Ray Gross Award winner. I mean, if you got to find a kicker, guys, I think that'd be the best option available. So I think they've knocked it out of the park in terms of retaining their roster and then also making sure that they address some areas of concern.
Do you think it's accurate that that there's teams leery of Jaden Rashad? I mean, Georgia's clearly after him. Georgia's interested. There's other, big programs that are rumored to have some interest. But I guess just what do you make of the attention for a Jaden Rashad, and is it more or less than perhaps you anticipated?
I'll be honest with you guys. As we speak in the last 3 minutes, I just logged a prediction for Jaden Rashad to become a Georgia Bulldog.
Okay.
I think that this visit has gone extremely well from multiple sources. I know that they still need to talk NIL dollars, but it's been made extremely apparent to me that this is not Jaden's high school recruitment, and I think that NIL is not going to be the end-all be-all, and he really just needs a spot where he feels like he can develop for a couple of years.
Pete,
So wait a minute. Wait. So you waited until our segment so you could give us the news on Jaden Rashad.
Yes, I thought it would time up perfectly, don't you?
Yeah, we certainly
appreciate that.
Yeah, we certainly did too. Which team has done the worst so far, in your opinion?
The worst? I don't know. I think Michigan State's lost a lot of young talent in the last 72 hours. That's really surprised me. I think that they're one team that I'm maybe a little concerned to see how they fill some holes. And I know they got Aiden Shiles, the young quarterback who followed Jonathan Smith to East Lansing. But I think that they're going to have some holes they got to fill, and I don't know if they're going to have enough time to kind of do it all.
Louisville lost 4 guys in the portal that all came in the December window. What went behind? They still did really well in the portal, and they'll still probably continue to, but Penny Boone, Tyler Barron, a couple others all left. What do you think happened there that in that very short amount of time those guys decided they didn't want to play for Jeff Brom anymore?
Have had a lot of conversations with folks at Louisville in this week, I'd say, and there's some guys who've gone in the portal that, to be honest with you guys, they just didn't want anyone. They thought they weren't really the right fits for the locker rooms. I'm not going to name names on here, but I think that some of the losses, while surprising, were not unforeseen in the Cardinals locker room program.
Pete, I know it's been a few days since the story came out, but it seemed pretty significant, and it's an NIL story. Memphis getting the huge investment from FedEx, $25 million to use on NIL over the next 5 years. We know Memphis is in that weird spot of on the outside looking in of the power conferences, but always feeling like they, will maybe get that call one day. This would be a nice step towards just everything improving, but what do you make of that commitment, and how does it kind of stack up in the grand scheme of NIL movements going on right now?
I think everyone always tries to compare NIL dollars to the top dollar, which is Oregon and Texas, and I don't think that's the right way to look at it. I think that Memphis got a really important $5 million annual commitment from FedEx that's going to elevate what the Tigers are able to do at the Group of 5 level and really help Memphis become maybe one of the more attractive landing spots for athletes when it comes to the American Athletic Conference, and I think that's the way you have to look at it.
Okay, I got to be honest. You're doing a segment with us, and you're also with 4 different phones in your hand, looking at what other people are doing, logging predictions. Are you like a stockbroker when that thing opens up in the morning up in New York?
It's funny. I'm trying to type the story and talk to you at the same time, and it's not because I don't want to spend more time on the other. It's just because the world I live in at the moment. So I love my job and everything, but yeah, I'm trying to give you the best and give On Three the best all at the same time.
Well, no, you have to do whoever pays you. We don't pay you, although we should. But, all right, so you can type, and as you're typing that story, just read it to us.
Okay. All right.
All right, here we go.
There's a paywall at On 3. There's a paywall. No, but no, Keandre Lambert-Smith, he's predicting him to land at Auburn. I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on here. That was a big one right off the bat, and he's maybe, I guess the comp would be Keon Coleman, maybe the kind of the game changer wide receiver that can come in for a year and help you because he hasn't been playing with the best at quarterback over his career. I don't know if he's going to do that at Auburn, but Hugh Freeze, this is kind of a big one for him.
Yeah, I think that this portal cycle has really set a tone at Auburn, right? They picked up some really crucial defensive linemen, and then you add on Keon Lambert-Smith, the top available wide receiver, and I think things are humming in a good way right now.
All right, Pete, I'm going to just keep kidding for fresh. We'll be following your timeline. Good luck with that story. Thank you for giving us time and also weaving in and out, maneuvering with the ever-changing portal. Appreciate it.
You bet. Thanks so much,
That's
guys.
Pete Nakos on 3.com. He was being